Hello and welcome back to the channel. We're going to continue down the NaNoWriMo theme path that we have been going on for this month. And so we're going to choose some themes from the Gift of Virtue Clarity pack, which I've been showing over the course of the month. It's a really great pack that you can use to generate themes for writing. And so I'm going to pull some themes and then I'll sort of discuss how I would write about it. But I hope that you're having a really great NaNoWriMo writing experience. And with that, let's start. Purity is our first theme. Oops. Utility is our second theme. And ownership is our third theme. And so let me just turn this a little bit this way so you can see the full cherry tree. So with that, I'm going to talk about this for a little bit. One of the themes that pops out to me right away is ownership, and that's a very interesting theme. So when you're looking at your NaNoWriMo stories that you've created, you can start tracing the theme of ownership throughout it to see if there's some place where that can be exploited in some manner. And so if I were going to be looking at this one, I would look at ownership to see what that actually means. And that can be a metaphorical ownership or a physical ownership. And so we have two other ones, which are utility, and we have purity, which are, on some levels, character traits. Because some people are very good at just being very practical about stuff. So here's utility. So this is something that is very functional or versatile. So when we look at people, I have a very strong utility for people. People will come to me and ask me questions all the time, and I usually can find the answers. And so that's a utility of mine. And that can be exploited by some people. Some people believe that my utility can be exploited because I don't necessarily always charge. But we can also look at it from a character who might do the same thing, but with money. They might have a lot of money and they just sort of give it away willy-nilly. And they don't necessarily have ownership over themselves, at least from the outside eye. And so with that, we can also then look at purity. So you might have a character who has this purity of heart, or just purity in general. So we can talk about purity that way. We can talk about purity of a system. We can talk about purity of a family. We can talk about purity of a group. But if we're looking at a story like this one, we might look at the purity of heart of someone who might have a utility to be generous, right? This functional versatility where everybody utilizes this person for their own benefit, because in the end, it doesn't matter because they own themselves. The person that believes that other people believe is being taken advantage of really doesn't care because they own their own system. They own themselves. And so you can look at it that way too, is that these three themes can be put together to talk about a person who might look on the surface to be taken advantage of, that their purity and their utility is being taken advantage of, but they know who they are. They have ownership of themselves. And so another way of looking at this in this story is that this is integrity, but that's an ownership of self. That's personal accountability. A person who might have a ton of money doesn't really care if it comes back. I don't know that feeling, but that's the thing, is they still own themselves. So it doesn't matter what other people say. Their intentions are pure. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go. You can think of other ways of utilizing the themes of ownership, utility, and purity. And you have 1,600 words to write, 16 to 1,700 words to write today. So I'm going to let you get started on that. And you guys have an awesome time, and I will see you in the next video.